All right, well, hey, welcome back to the channel. We are going to talk about a topic that, man, a lot of guitar players will scratch their head over, particularly those that want to play blues and want to incorporate the diminished sound into their blues playing. Now, this is a subject that is vast, right? But the problem is that many of us just want a little taste of it, and that's all I'm going to give you today. Little smidgen, if you will, a little nugget, because you got to hear it and you got to start playing around with it to really incorporate it without it sounding weird or off-putting to the listener, because it can, trust me. So what we want to do is really just take a few notes of the diminished scale and throw that into our blues sequence in a very specific spot. We'll talk about that as well. So we're not going to do an entire deep dive, but I'm just going to give you a little lick or an arpeggio type of lick that I think will help you start to kind of dip your toe in the water of the diminished world, because this isn't something that you want to tackle and start throwing it into your playing immediately. This is for those choice moments when you really want to try to just twist the ear a little bit. All right, I'm going to play a little blues, but before I jump into that, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you know when I put out new content. I do it often here on this channel, lots of lessons, gear demos, conversations, all that kind of stuff. Feel free to message me in the comments, hit me in my website, and look at all the links below for lots of fun stuff as well. All right, I'm going to play the blues with a little taste of diminished thrown in, and we'll throw up some graphics when the diminished is coming so you can get your ears and hands ready for that. All right, let's do it. So I tried to keep it pretty close to the vest there and give you some down-home blues phrasing with this line inserted every so often. Again, that's... And before I even talk about what that is, I want to say that you know these notes already. If you know A minor pentatonic, A blues scale, A major pentatonic, these are all notes that are taken from there, okay? And I'm going to show you that first. So if we start it from an A, think about your A minor pentatonic box right there, right? You can see that? That note's still in there. This note, that's your flat 5, or the note that you'd find in your blues scale. But we're going to go right to it. A, C, E flat, or D sharp, whatever you want to call it. Then your second finger is ready to nail that F sharp note right there. So this gives you your diminished sound right away. It's all minor thirds stacked on top of each other. Then finish it off with an A and a C. So right here, you're down home. That's your pentatonic. You go right there, that gives you your F sharp, which could be your 13. You can think about it as a major pentatonic sound, but the point is, you know these notes, okay? This isn't foreign land, okay? However, a dominant diminished scale, as one would call it, would sound something like this. And that is a scale where we do a half step from the root based off of half steps and whole steps. And this is sort of a favorite amongst players who were trying to reach out beyond the realm of just normal chord tones over a dominant chord. Okay, so we're going to pick some of those notes in an arpeggio fashion like this. and put it in a specific spot in the 12-bar blues. Now, where is that spot? Now, some real magic happens in the 12-bar blues when we're going from the 1 chord to the 4 chord. And for instance, we might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3. We can play diminished going to the 4 chord. And you saw in the graphic that when I was playing, where I was playing those kind of ideas, where I'd go into the diminished arpeggio, if you will, and then back into minor pentatonic. So why am I showing you this? Because I think this is the easiest way to get the sound. If you're having trouble with altered sounds in your solos, it's because you don't hear them yet. You need to listen to music where guitar players are going for that kind of sound. If you're just listening to sort of, stock blues that isn't as adventurous harmonically, you may not hear those sounds. But if we do it in a way of introducing it with notes we already know, like the flat 5, the 6, the 1, and the flat 3, then we can really sort of start to digest it a little bit more. The dominant diminished scale on its own gives us a wide variety of really fun notes, whether it be a flat 9, a sharp 9, flat 5, 6, those kinds of sounds. They're all available to us in here. But if we were to play the blues and run through a dominant diminished scale, it's going to sound pretty contrived. Okay, so let's roll the track and let's talk about how we might actually, use these as opposed to a scale. And I'll do both so you can hear how one sounds better than another. Here we go. Oh, 1, 2, 3, just the blues. Here comes the arpeggio. We gotta play through the whole form now, because we don't want to put it anywhere else. Let's try it again. Now I'm gonna try the scale. Not as pleasing. Pretty cool though. Again. No points for mistakes. One more time. So you can hear how going doesn't sound very bluesy, but playing this little arpeggio gives us just enough of a twist. And I think in part of that is really because we're going from, we're hitting all of those notes in that chord change, and that's a little teaser of what could possibly come next in the lesson. Because what happens is bump, bum, 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 bum. We take this idea, it's this little twist that gets you out of the normal dominant chord tones ever so slightly, leading into the 4 chord. It's cool because we have some half-step approaches going to the 4 chord and some other underlying things that are really, really interesting to the ear, if you will. But playing outside, as they like to say, isn't just about the harmonic content of your line. It's about the rhythmic content too. So if we take that same idea and we just kind of play ba, 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 ba. right? That's some typical. Let's make our. See how I changed the phrasing up? This is pretty sing-songy. Swung 8th note. Now we'll go. Let's change our rhythm. So the point is that you kind of want to push the boundary of your rhythmic phrasing on top of the interesting harmonic sound as well. So I learned that from Scott Henderson. He said playing outside was as much about your rhythmic phrasing as it was the harmonic continuity. I'm paraphrasing, but I know I heard him say it, and he's one of the best to ever do it. So that's it, something really simple. It's not a huge, learning all those patterns in every place on the neck. I'll put a course together someday with all that stuff, but this, if I was in your position where I was like, man, I just want to get a little bit of that sound, start there. There's more to come. All right, so hope you dug that lesson. It's just dipping your toe into the waters of Diminished. Don't be scared, the water's fine, it's nice in here. But take your time and don't force it, and just use it in that one spot in the 12-bar blues right before you change to the 4 chord, okay? Go back and listen to how some of the ways I phrased it in the playing example, and I think it'll make sense. And also, listen to masters of this, obviously people like Robin Ford, Scott Henderson, Larry Carlton, the list goes on and on. Lots of blues and fusion type players really have a wonderful handle on this, but they use it in a really sort of tasteful way, and they don't overdo it. Okay, I could go on and on and on, but I won't. I hope you dug it. I'm here all the time, so subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you know when I put out new lessons, new gear demos, and all of that fun stuff here on the old YouTube channel. All right, guys, I'm Corey, and I can't wait to see you on another lesson. All right, take care. Peace.